You know, what if you could take those random sparks of genius and turn them into a full-on, disciplined factory for improvement? That's really the big idea behind the G2 and J2 Innovation Engine. It's a system that's not just about having ideas, but about making them better, methodically, every single day. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to start by unpacking what this portfolio of innovation really is. Then we'll take a peek inside at some of the cool stuff they're working on. After that, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the daily engine that drives it all, see how it gets started, and most importantly, why this whole disciplined process is such a game changer. All right, let's dive right in. When we talk about this G2 and J2 systems portfolio, what are we actually talking about? Let's break it down. The entire system, believe it or not, is built around this number, 13. But these aren't just ideas scribbled on a napkin. Nope, we're talking about 13 distinct, patent-eligible technical assets. Each one is a unique and pretty valuable piece of intellectual property. And this is the key part. It's not just a random grab bag of inventions. It's a really carefully curated portfolio. And it has one single mission: to fundamentally improve how things work on a systemic level, no matter what industry you're in. So, this entire process is driven by something called key betterment points. Think of it this way. Instead of just saying, hey, let's innovate, this system forces you to focus on specific, measurable improvements. It's kind of like the difference between just wandering around in the woods and actually having a compass to guide you. Okay, so what kinds of innovations are we actually talking about here? I gotta say, the diversity inside this portfolio is pretty wild. On one end of the spectrum, you've got these huge, large-scale systems aimed at public infrastructure. A great example is a voter-auditable election system. The goal there is pretty obvious, right? Making a critical part of our civic life more transparent and secure. But then, on the complete other end, you have this super specialized industrial tech, like the J2 smoke condensation chamber system. One of its key betterment points, for instance, is its really advanced thermal capture and filtration process. It's all designed to squeeze out more efficiency and slash emissions. This contrast just shows you the incredible range we're dealing with. And here's the full list. All 13 assets. Just look at the variety. It goes from a modern traffic signal system and secure data transmission all the way to an anti-corruption badge and even a new framework for developing AI. It is a genuinely cross-industry collection of ideas. So we've got the assets, we know what they are, but how do they actually get better? Well, that brings us to the engine itself, a formal process laid out in something called Policy GP001. The goal of this policy is beautiful in its simplicity. Create a daily, repeatable task that pumps out content to directly improve the core systems. It totally reframes innovation from being this sporadic, lightning-in-a-bottle thing to a daily discipline, like going to the gym. The policy breaks the whole daily routine down into the super clear 5-step workflow. It all starts with a trigger, it syncs up with the source material, it defines the output, lists the artifacts, and it even requires a manual start. Every single step is designed to get rid of any ambiguity and just maximize focused effort. Now, there is one rule that governs this entire process, and it's an absolute deal breaker. All the work has to be grounded exclusively in the core foundational ideas of the G2 and J2 systems. This acts like a powerful focusing lens, It makes sure every bit of effort goes into improving the portfolio, not getting lost on some external distraction. Okay, let's zoom in on the real heart of this workflow, that trigger that kicks the whole thing off every single day. This is it. Seriously, the entire complex process is started by manually typing this exact 3-word phrase each day: daily innovation brief. It's such a simple command, but it acts as a powerful starting gun for a highly structured creative process. And once you trigger it, what happens? Well, the process is designed to produce this exact set of 9 multimedia artifacts every single day. 3 videos, 3 audio pieces, and 3 infographics. It's basically a factory for innovation content. And this is what makes the whole system so powerful. It's not just creating content for the sake of it. Each one of those 9 artifacts must directly highlight a key betterment point for one of the 13 core assets. It creates this perfect, closed loop between the act of creation and the act of improvement. It's genius. Okay, this is all incredibly structured, right?
So, what's the point? Why would you build such a rigid, daily process around something as creative and messy as innovation?
Well, think about how traditional R&D usually works. It's often locked away internally, you get sporadic updates, and the outputs can be all over the place. The G2/J2 process completely flips that on its head. It makes innovation an external, public-facing activity. It's daily, it's structured, and it produces a consistent stream of valuable stuff.
When you boil it all down, the whole engine, the triggers, the artifacts, the daily briefs, it all exists for one primary reason: to constantly refine, document, and improve that core portfolio of 13 technologies. That's it. But there's a second, almost meta objective going on here, which is pretty cool. The system isn't just designed to improve the assets themselves, it's designed to improve the process of innovation. It's constantly trying to make the engine itself more efficient, faster, and better over time. So, when you put it all together, what you really have is this incredibly powerful feedback loop. The daily grind of creating content forces a deep focus on the core ideas, and that, in turn, fuels their evolution. It's a system literally designed for nonstop, documented growth. So, yeah, this is a system built for a very specific portfolio, but the core principles here are totally universal. And it leaves us with a pretty powerful question. What would happen if you applied this kind of structured, daily, output-focused discipline to the challenges in your own field? What could you build?